Today's lesson is over section 6.3d, area of a triangle and inverse functions. So for this part, we'll be talking about area of a triangle where you're given the sides of A and B and their included angle, which will give you the formula of A equals 1/2 times A times B times sine of theta. Remember that the included angle means that it's the angle that connects those two sides. So for example 1, letter A, you're given the sides of 5 and 10 and the included angle of 140 degrees. So we'll plug those into our formula. So it'll look like 1/2 times 10 times 5 times sine of 140 degrees. Now we will do some simplification. So 1/2 times 10 is actually 5. And then from there, 5 times 5 is 25. Now since I don't know what sine of 140 is, I'll plug it into my calculator to get me the area of 16.07 centimeters squared. For letter B, you're given the sides of 12 and 7 and the included angle of 101 degrees. So plugging that into your formula and then simplifying the 1/2 and the 12 gets you 6. Then 6 times 7 gets you 42. Once again, sine of 101 is not an angle we know in the unit circle, so we'll plug it into our calculator to get 41.23 meters squared. For the next section that we'll discuss, we'll talk about inverse functions. Now for these inverse functions, we don't really know what they would be on the unit circle because these are not ratios we'll know, so we'll have to use our calculator. So these you will find on your calculator above the sine and cosine buttons using the second button. So for letter A, you're given inverse sine of 0.62, so plugging that into your calculator, you get the angle measurement of 38.32 degrees. Remember to make sure that your calculator is in degrees or you'll get a funky decimal. For letter B, you're given inverse cosine of 3. Now for this one, remember that 3 is greater than 1, so you will not be able to find a value because it's not on the unit circle, so we'll have to say no solution. Your calculator will say error when you plug this in. But for letter C, inverse tangent of -2 is actually an answer because tangent can be all reals for your domain and inverses. So your angle will end up being -63.43 degrees. Now, if you have trouble finding or being able to do this with your calculators, please let me know and I can help you. For the next examples, we're going to apply these to some right triangles. For letter A, you're given an angle and the opposite side and the adjacent side to that angle. So we'll use tangent to help us find this angle. So tangent of theta is equal to 9/19. We'll take the inverse tangent of both sides to get theta by itself, which gives me inverse tangent of 9 divided by 19. I'll have to plug that into my calculator, which gets me 25.35 degrees. For letter B, you're given the adjacent side of 4 and the hypotenuse of 16, so we'll have to use cosine. So cosine of theta is equal to 4/16. Then we'll take the inverse cosine to both sides to get theta by itself, which will give me inverse cosine of 4/16. And then plugging that into my calculator, I get 75.52 degrees. Hopefully you found this video to be helpful. Thanks for watching.